Hola controles, bienvenidos a su podcast El After. El día de hoy tenemos dos invitadas muy especiales, Volcano and Mars. How are you, my friends?
How are you? Good.
Hola, how are you?
Very killer to be here and
Thank you for having us. It's always fun to be in Mexico and now to be here with you.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it that you have the time to be here. And I've been following your career and killer music that you have been working just as an individual, also, and in this project Volcano on Mars. So here basically it's like the Mexican people, the Mexican scene knows you, like where you come from, because sometimes the social media is just like all the parties and all the balagan and everything, but they don't really know where you're from, how you started, what your first approach into music. Everyone has a different story, and this podcast is mostly to people identify, like, hey, yeah, I was like him when I was young, like listening maybe to Astral Projection or California Sunshine. I don't know. Everybody has a different story.
Everyone exactly has different kind of influences. Even it's like back then it was not like a big scene, but still everyone have different influences. Like this is how I feel.
Yes,
Sure.
Yeah, so you can share like where you're from. Like, we can start like
You can start.
where you're from, or how you started into music.
which city and
Whatever you want
right from Israel city called Bat Yam. And I started to produce, I think in age maybe 13 with a program that called Impulse Tracker. And after I moved, not few years, I don't even remember the timing. I moved to Fruity Loops and after to Cubase, I think age 17 or 18 to Cubase. And I start to want to produce trance, like in age 14 when we was kids, listening in, it was Walkman, you know, like in cassette, it was
Walkman. That's the word.
and we was listening to dance, me and my friends, and one day I said to myself, I want to do this music, you know. And from there it's a very long journey. That you're making music, sounds not good for you, not good for others, like, you know, ups and downs until you find yourself. Like for me, I think it was 22 or 3 or 4 that I understand what I want to do and how to do it. Like that people will start to respect you, say, oh, what is this? It sounds good, or who will make it, or stuff like this. And yeah.
So, nice story. No, good story. So my name is Osh, originally from Be'er Sheva city. You've been there, so you know the city. Lots of producers coming from this city. It's in the southern part of Israel. I left this city many, many years ago and been traveling all over Israel, been living in lots of cities. Nowadays, I'm based in Ramat Gan. It's like 5 minutes from Tel Aviv. Nice city. And my connection with music, it started when I was in the 9th grade, just went to high school, and I think it was 95, many, many years ago. And I remember I had another friend, and we go to this girl from our class to do some work together with her. And I think the first touch with Psytrance, or it was not even Psytrance, it was Goatrance. She put an album from California Sunshine, and it was their first album. And it was an amazing experience. I back then I could not understand what was it, but I remember I told her if I can take the CD and burn it because I want to listen to it more. I didn't even know where to buy it back then, and this was like the first contact. Since then I was start following more music, listening to more producers, searching. And the first party I went to, it was very underground in the desert. Back then there was no flyers, no nothing, you know. It's like you have like a paper that they give you and you need to come, and sometimes you don't even find the party, you know. It's like all night you're searching, you don't even find. But when you find, it's a magic that these days it's art to recreate, you know. Still there is the new magic that exists, but back then it was a bit different. And I remember like being in the party and everyone is happy. It's not a big party, like 300 people, and the DJ is like not in front. Everyone is like with their backs to the DJ, you know? And I was fascinated, like the way he's playing like all night, like many, many hours. And this is the first time I said like, hey, like this is something I want to do. This was my first connection with the music, you know? So since then, my whole adventure started in a very young age until now. So it's beautiful in a way. If we need to talk about influence, I think back then, it's always changed over the years. But back then, when I start listening, it was like more Israeli Goa trance, like Euphoria, it was back then Tandu, California Sunshine, Astral Projection. And over the years, it changed a bit. More the British guy, more the German guys. It was always changing with the sound that I was searching for, you know?
For me, it was, I think, more hard psytrance until 2002.
More dark, I think.
More dark, until 2002 that I heard the Asterix album Eye to Eye.
Yeah, it was a milestone. It changed everything.
It changed the game. Like I remember my friend gave me the CD, his auntie giving the CD, and we put in play. And the first track, wow. I put in the second one, wow. After every track is like, wow. No, like on everything need to, like everything that need to be in the track and everything new added, you know, like the melodies, the breaks, the everything, like. Also, Infected Mushroom was, the first album. The first album
Was The Gathering in 98.
Wow, was very, like, I remember that it also changed me.
Yeah.
Like, Eye to Eye is something that I remember all my life with the music.
Yeah,
Well,
Was
The
like
Gathering,
new genre, the right one. I don't know how to say.
going back to what he says about The Gathering, like in Infected Mushroom, until these days, I have a vinyl of this album that I bought back then. It never saw a needle. You know, it's like still packed. It's still like, it's something I'm going to remember and keep it like as a memory forever, because this album also
This
changed.
time the music was...
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's very good that you keep it in place, and then you can get it signed, and you can put it at your studio as something special.
Oh, no, it's going to stay. I'm not going to do nothing with it. I consider myself as a collector, you know, always. I think since the beginning, I was always searching for new sound, for innovative sound, like for something that lets me get a rush or excited, you know? And it was like a kind of stairs that you go up with the music. Until these days, you always hear stuff that makes you excited. So these days, people are more in digital, you know, the digital stuff, like we have the Spotify, the YouTube. You don't have merchandise like it used to have. But nowadays, I see more people that press vinyls. So if there is something that I like, I just order and buy it. No?
Also the album of Astral Projection in this time was
Yeah, Dancing Galaxy.
was something that changed me, you know, all the time was changing from the music.
I think in the producer perspective, when you hear this stuff all the time, you probably can understand that it's like you want to create something that sounds like, you know, when you heard probably the Eye to Eye, it's like it's opened something in your mind that it's
Also-
like you don't have the ability that time, you know.
The style of this album was right, you know, everything was right.
It was new.
Not exactly.
It was new. It was innovative sound, you know. It was something that was not before, you know. Astrid brought all kind of styles, put it together, and it was like a blast, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, and I fully understand. And I ask this question because depending on where you're from, the city you're from, but well, at least a lot of people that I interviewed from Israel, like Avi from Alien Project, he told me the same. Like he listened to Astral Projection in California Sunshine.
Yeah, I think everyone, it was the beginning. Like I think at least our generation, we a bit older, so this was like that time. Yeah, good times.
Yeah, or sometimes when you had the first experience, because Science Party back on that times, and even on these times, it's very different. It's not go to a club. You go into the woods, you went to the Lester, and
But it's still, I tell you what, it's like in every period of time, there is the magic, you know?
yeah.
Things always change.
Also, in the past, if you want or not, it was more underground, you know.
And every underground, exactly.
With the years, it became more mainstream, even if it's, you know,
Every-
psychedelic.
I have to say something about it. Every genre that you look in the past, not only psytrance, okay? When it's underground and it's good, in some point it's gonna explode.
Yeah,
You can see the rock, you know, you remember Woodstock, it was like in the beginning small festival, then millions, you know, it was like huge, you know. They didn't expect this, I think, given the back then. So everything that is underground and is good, it has to explode, man. This is my feeling, you know?
Yeah, sure. Also, that Tomorrowland.
Exactly.
I give you the pictures in the beginning. It's a very small festival. Now it's one of the biggest in the world.
I think in a way when someone, anyone, you know, a promoter, a producer, when he does something that is honest and he do it from his heart and it sounds good, it has to work, you know? Eventually it has to work. You can't do something, you say, okay, this is gonna work, this is gonna work, this is gonna work, I'm gonna do this. But it's not what you really want to do, you know? Even listening to other musicians, you can feel connect only if you feel the honest in the music, you know? So it's something important, I think.
Yeah, for sure, completely. So, well, basically, you have very similar startings. And when was like this merge when you decide to make like a project?
I can tell you this story. I think 2011 or 2010, I had a project with another friend called Symbolic, and he had another project called Vertical Mode, sorry. And we become good friends, and the style was very similar.
Very similar.
Very similar, but me and him, like when we met the first time, I remember, we had like a click, you know? I felt very connect to him, you know? So,
you know, the phone about life, how
life, everything, you know?
about tracks. When I was finishing tracks, sending him, you know, to play in the episode.
And the other side. And I remember even like going to him for 1 week, staying with him, staying in his studio, working 1 week, even flying together, you know? So this connection was in a way obvious, you know, because it's like, it's funny because my partner was a good friend of him. And
I met him.
And we met, and yeah, and then like in 2016, you know, I left Symbolic. I started Imagine Mars as a solo project, and then you know we started to work together. I think in 2017 we started Volcano on Mars, and to be honest, it was only to fly together back then. We wanted to fly
But we were good
together.
friends, so we said,
Yeah, like only
we go together.
It's funny, but we really like every time we go outside of the country, it's an experience. It's an adventure, you know. Every place we go, people remember us. We remember the memories, you know. Even now, we went outside walking, you know. It's like always fun. So this is how this Volcano on Mars created.
It was necessary for us to do something like together.
Yeah,
I can't explain it. We want to do it years, but we didn't do it until one
it's
day.
only happened in 2017, exactly, you know. I think it was the right time, the right moment to make it, and it was, you know.
Yeah, because you really.
Also, we changed it with the music. You know, I think he was like in this time more aggressive.
Since then, exactly, like I said before, you know, and I'm saying it again, with the search in the music, you always search for something that excites you. And I think in a way, like in the Symbolic Day and the Vertical Mode, it was very progressive, but very psychedelic in the same time. And already I had like more attractions to psytrance, like from the British guys, you know, from the Nano guys. I was listening to stuff and I was like enjoying, and this is what I wanted to do, you know?
Like to go
from more progressive psychedelic to higher BPMs, try to keep the same magic, but bring something new. And I hope we brought something new, because this is what we're always trying to do when we think about a track, when we work in the studio, when we work with someone. We always choose someone that can also give us something that we can like get also excited about it, you know, and work with.
important for sure.
Yeah.
You know, if
Like,
you're going to get excited,
Inspire us. This is the word. Inspire us in the studio to do something. And you can see over the years we work with a lot of artists, and it was always with people that we feel connected, you know, to their music, to the person. We need something there, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think that the chemistry with the person is very important. Even though
Totally.
you have the same ability, you use the same DAW, you use the same plugins, you do the same style, but if you don't have like a good connection with the, yeah, because making music, yeah, you are bonding like
In
everything.
the end, it's art.
Yes.
It's art. You know, think about it.
Yeah, it's like painting a paint. It's like everything. Exactly. It's a creation.
The emotional is need to be in somehow over there, you know.
Yeah, that's very important, and it's a good thing that back then you were good friends and you have like a good relationship, and now working together, making music together. Because yeah, you stay at the studio sometime, and sometimes you get stressed, like nothing is going. Let's go out and drink something. Let's have a good time. Let's talk about something else. So
And sometimes if we sit on the studio, I'm stuck in the mind, or
I think,
you can tell me, no, let's do this. So you open me, you know, I call it open the chakra.
I can go back to the people like that we work with, and or it's someone that really inspire us, or it's someone that we really feel connected to and we feel we can do something with them. And I can give examples like many years ago there was this artist Freck from Australia that brought something new back then in 2005, and it was huge, you know. I remember listening to his music. It was incredible, you know, back then, the album that he released in 2005 in Iboga.
The progressive,
The progressive era, exactly. And after 10 years, I met him in Australia in some festival in Rainbow Serpent. I was back then playing there as Symbolic, and he told me how much he loved the music. And I was amazed, you know, that this guy that he was an idol, you know. And going for the few years, you know, we got to talk and we just make a track with him that was released, I think, last year.
2
No,
years, no?
2 years, or maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, but it was for us like to do a track with them was like very inspiring. You know, like it was good. You know, it's like closing a kind of a circle. Exactly.
You know, it's someone that you 15, 20 years ago, you
Was exploding,
fan of
exactly,
him, fan of-
exploding from his music.
you know. I can tell it this about Avi Astrid. I make with him the track Vertical Mode, 7 Gates.
It was a hit.
So it was a
And we'll take it.
we're making another one for his new album.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, you have something, you know, when you're closing cycle with someone that you.
Yeah, and it's also the magic about the music that you start hearing somebody, some artist, and then a few years later you make a track with him, and you will know the word with him, and maybe he's a good friend of yours, right?
I feel that when you say this, I always felt like it's a bliss, you know, like to have this kind of thing, you know, because it's a pure bliss, you know, so we have to be thankful for that. It's like, you know, yeah.
We're also making a remix now to big track that we was very loving in the past, Paravana.
From Astrid.
This is on process, very good one. Yeah.
For the new album.
No,
This is gonna drop the second, but
singer.
this is like a track that he just like said that we were used to play it like in the era of the vertical mode Symbolic.
Time of
you know?
vertical mode.
So again, making a remix for it, it's also very
138 this time, you know what?
yeah, exactly. So it's like very tricky, like to make a remix to it because it has the old magic and to bring like new magic and new ideas and new.
New 2025.
It's complex.
It was released on Ace Ventura album back
In the past, we was doing like, you know, when Symbolic vertical mode, like it was we start from
135.
135, and today we're playing sets 147. You know.
Okay. No, the BPM change. I think it's important to go with the flow, but keep your own identity. You know, like, but it's good to go with the flow with new ideas, but still to be yourself. You know.
Always. Yeah, you go with the flow, but you cannot change it. Right now, maybe techno is on the modern.
I think techno was always there. Techno was always there. It was always huge, and
I think from the so
no.
please from the. I think from the Corona, it started to be in my face, not too much. Until the Corona, I didn't saw it.
Yeah.
You know, in my country, a lot of psytrance, even now, a lot of psytrance parties in Monday, in Wednesday, in Friday, in Saturday, in Sunday sometimes, a lot of lines. And after the Corona,
Yeah, like electronic
and
production.
when you go out, you see a lot of techno everywhere.
It's also kind of a cycle. Sometimes techno is bigger, sometimes the psytrance is a bit bigger. I'm not sure it's a bit bigger from techno.
It's a cycle.
It's still big.
It can be like I think every few years the cycle of the music change. Like in the past we start with low BPM. I think in the future it will be back to low BPM, and after again faster again, and something else would be popular. And even if maybe it was in the past the same genre, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like in Hebrew we say like in English I will translate like history come back herself. You know. In the music, in the life, I think.
But I agree with you that after the Corona times, techno has stayed like
In the face is
too much thing right now.
and a lot of genre of techno, melodic techno, a lot.
Yeah, but it's good. I think people like if people go there, so probably it's something good. You know, it's like a good stream. People like it. You know, eventually, I also felt it in the Corona that maybe the new Psytrance generation was not renewing because there were no parties, there were no something that bring like new people to the scene, you know, like new followers and fan, and it's like it's probably the techno they do something good, you know. For me, I like to listen to Psytrance. I listen to Psytrance. I'm not very connected to techno these days, even so I come from techno, but it changed a lot, you know. So it's again, it's a new wave of techno that people love it, you know.
I can say that, like if I'm listening to some tracks of techno, and sometimes it's remind me solid full on, but with low BPM, you know, like 120, you know. The same bass line, the same kick, the same snare, the same hi-hat.
It's very, very similar.
Just not the same lead.
No, you change it. Maybe more like different, not so inspirational and so many layers right now.
Yes.
Yeah, music has been changing. Also, the new style that INICIOS started on Psytrance, like I changed on the rolling bass, was very different from the BPM that we used to listen.
The usual
With
stuff.
evolved.
Yeah, they brought something new. They were guys.
And good.
Yeah, and it was something refreshing.
Definitely. I think they always like they are in the heaven. No,
Bass line kick, also it was 140, I think, but it was
Vinny Vici always bringing fresh ideas. They always get out of the box, or it's amazing to see it because it brings a lot of opportunities to our scene, you know,
Sure.
to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, they make it more mainstream because the Psytrance was big, but in Brazil, in Mexico, in Israel, in some parts of Europe. But yeah, I think that when they started make the collaboration with Urban Van Buren, it's like they open it, and then you listen a lot of Billy Vici tracks in Formula One and different kind of festivals.
I think what they do is like sometimes you can't call it like a hit. It's an anthem, you know? It's like every time they put it, people go crazy. Every track, even track from, I don't know, like 7 years, 8 years, they put it and it's like an anthem. Everyone remember it. Everyone want them. When they play, they want it, you know? If you go to the Tribe, I don't know how old it is. Like when they put it, everyone goes crazy. They remember it. They know what's going to happen in this track when they play it. So it's a beautiful thing, you know? This is, I think, what producer, when he thinks this is what you want the result to be, you know?
Yeah, the memory. If Asterix plays Sextile, the original version, everybody's going to dance it like it was Beatport #1 hit. Yeah, there are a lot of artists that have like anthems
Anthem is exactly.
and there are a lot of anthems in Psytrance. A lot of hallucinogen tracks.
Until these days, sometimes I put some tracks from the first Hallucinogen album, and it's amazing. Yeah.
It's killer. Libra and Hujo were recommending me that like later, but we had to listen all the music from Hallucinogen. And
Like all the Twisted records, like since like the 90s until I think 2025, all the Psytrance there, man, it's something I always go back to.
also the album of Cosma for me.
Yeah. Both of them, but like the last one.
Nature, like you can listen this 20 years after, and it will work on the dance floor and on yourself like this guy make it 2 days ago. For me, this is how I feel.
yeah, like future proof. That kind of music. And tell us the
They don't have a date.
No have expired dates.
Yeah, because they don't go with the flow of what is listening right now. They have such an individual and original style that it doesn't matter when you play it, you are going to hear like Sausa today because they keep the style. I remember back in the old days that they used a collab with the sidechain. What's something from 1 year? I use it right now. It sounds old. But it was the snare was okay. That was the height.
It's changing every few years. The production, the sound that attract the ear. You know what I mean? Like what you want to hear. Like what you say now. If you listen in the track, you feel like this is all thinking. You know what I mean? Yes, man. So yes, every time it's changed. The sound that you expect. Or I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it's different to express with words, but as a summer, I can tell to keep original in your style. not go so much with the mainstream stuff, and you will keep it, and your music will be timeless.
Definitely.
Yeah, because there are a lot of artists that change, and I understand living in this business is complicated because the psytrance scene has been moving a lot. It doesn't. We don't have the same.
It's every always a wall, you know. If you want to break the wall, you need to.
You have to be creativity, you know. You need to bring something new. You don't need to go with the same formula that everyone do. Okay, something is working, I'm gonna do it, then it's gonna work. No, you're gonna sound like this and that, and you know.
I already hear it.
Yeah, it's always happening since the beginning, you know, that people hear something, they try to copy it. But as an artist, as an individual, you always try to think to bring something new, something that people will remember, feel connect, you know, and not gonna say, oh, it sounds like him, it sounds like them, you know. So yeah,
And how is your creative process? How do you work together making a track? How do you start?
big balagan, as you see, is very hyperactive.
No, we can. I'm fast. Sometimes you have an idea, man. You know this track. Let's make a remix to this, or we're working on something new. So
You mean the progress in the studio?
we make.
Yeah, you're real working because
It's always changing. Sometimes first you make like the
I can say, but to give him few good words here all the time. Have like the, see, like, man, we need to do this. To this track remix, and
I think-
put this release 20 years ago, stuff like this, and good stuff. And in the end,
No, but he's asking about the creativity in the studio. I will tell you what, it's like, it's always changing. When he comes, he says with idea, like before when we approach a track, so it was like, okay, let's do this kick and bass. We always like sit together like for hours and always like touching, everyone touch and change and do this stuff. But eventually, it's like these days, I feel like when I say these days, it's like a few years back, we need to come with idea. We need to come with idea if it's a remix, if it's original track. Let's say we say, okay, we're gonna record this Indian girl singing, or I think in 2019 we went to Goa, you know, and we went to our friend studio Jimbo, and we make like one of our greatest hits, Go On My Mind, the part 2.
we just
So
sit,
we just like thought about the progress during it.
tell Chicago, listen.
We brought Chicago. We have like the studio, you know, and we came like to play and to have fun. But we say, okay, we have idea, let's do it. So our friend Sitar Sonic is playing sitar. Come to the studio of Jimbo. We record there. Chicago from 1,200 micrograms, the legendary.
On a regular kick and bass.
Shiki come to Jimbo studio, start talk about Goa, and he's like talking and talking and talking. Eventually we cut,
We take the stems.
and we took everything back home and then work on it, you know. But I think these days and in general, it's hard to bring a good creative idea, unique, you know, because
It's not hard or sorry.
no, when I say hard, because I always listen to psytrance, so it's easy to fall to hear something that you like and you say, I like it, I want to do something like this. It's easy. Every producer has have it, come on. But it's more hard to say, okay, I want to go out of the box and bring something that no one did, you know? Especially when the boundaries is like not very long, especially in psytrance. Other genres, I think you can more express yourself.
I think a lot of us producers start when they start to work, they search the kick, the bass, like me in the past, like him in the past.
Yeah.
The new hi-hat, the groove section to make it killer. But in the end, so you have it in the end, for me, my experience, in the end, all the time it will be stuck or go slowly. Why? Because in the end, I will search the hook of the track. So if you come from the start, like you have already the vocal in the head, you know, you think about some break, you know, you come with the with the vibes that I know what I want to do. So the production or the result will be more faster. I just finished a track. Maybe it took me how much 4 months to finish track, 4 months or something like this.
You say formats because usually we're more fast. That's what they say.
You know, I'm working faster. So yeah, you all the time need to, because you already did this, you already did this, you already did this. You know, you want also to move yourself. You know, not just how to. You know, you need to get excited from what you're doing.
Exactly.
For me, how I see it. You know, if you don't get excited, or not sure that everyone will be excited, you know, how I see it, you know. When I'm getting excited, I know that my friends, you know, my colleague that I'm sending their music, they playing my stuff. I know when I'm getting excited from what I'm doing, like I say, this is going to be killer. I feel it. This is what the feedback also I get. And when I not on that, also the feedback, maybe you need to rework more, I don't know.
Change
So
that.
the tip or the point is, if you come more with ideas that what you want, like you have already the vocal, you recorded someone from this site, I forget the name of the site, that
Fiverr.
Fiverr or stuff like
I
this.
think if we can also recommend to the people that produce music, there is a website, maybe some know, maybe some don't know, that called Fiverr. You know it? You know it. Everyone know it, but I think no. Sometimes I'm telling people they don't know about it.
Yeah, yeah.
We record everything there.
We make a remix for a track that was 20 years ago, Ramirez.
Yeah.
You know,
Now with
the
Electric
track,
Universe.
the track, you have some accordion over there, but we don't.
Very famous track from Ramirez from the 90s.
From the 90s. Boris sent the original to some guy for Fiverr. The guy recorded
With the accordion.
you know.
You
You
record
can bring every, you know, you can bring a lot of.
These days everything can be.
It's also a new track that will. We come soon.
Are you going to play today, or you still no?
The track we're gonna play it, I think. Yeah, we're still thinking about it.
But because it's not finished, but we
Maybe.
try it. It's good one.
Yeah, you can test it.
Yeah, it's good to test things.
Oh, and I appreciate your tips because, yeah, maybe, as you said, not everybody knows Fiverr. There is a place that you can pay for somebody for a gig, for a job.
From musicians, everything, but like
Everything.
from musicians, it's also a good solution, you know, like
Yeah, because a lot of people know Splice, because Splice makes a lot of marketing.
It's samples. Samples. The other side, you can say to India girl, listen, I want from you that you sing this. You pay and you get something that you can't hear it after that because
Someone
Splice.
used
I
it.
already used some stuff in Splice and I hear it in other
even
things.
today you have this AI, you know.
Yeah.
But I hate it. To be honest, I hate it. I don't like this progress. Even when we want to bring like vocal, you know, like sample someone to speak, we go to Fiverr and we just ask this girl, this guy to record. We give him like the sentence and he record it, you know. We made 2 tracks with the Electric Universe. One is Humanoid. Another one, We Are Sacred.
Voiceover.
It's called voiceover in Fiverr, and another one called We Are Sacred that is not out yet. And both tracks we use the same girl, like British girl, that make the recording. High quality, sounds amazing, sit perfectly on the tracks, you know.
In this time, you also can use AI.
Yeah, but I don't feel it.
There's a lot of sites you can write the
Yeah,
words,
but it's still, I think it's still not there.
I think
Today.
the best for me, how I see it, is to do original. You want this.
They feel that in the future the AI is gonna do a lot of that, you know, for musicians, for designers.
I think it will be like AI in the that look like Splice, but will fit you more the stuff you need with it, with AI.
Man,
No one can use it again. You know what I mean?
I was this weekend in some party in the desert in Israel, and I met a guy, and it was amazing. He just like sit with me and we talk about music and everything in the party, and he just showed me in Spotify that he have an artist page there, not psytrance but music, that he release music that he do only in AI. So the progress that he do, it's crazy. It's like even the picture is AI of someone. He got the name. I don't remember the name. But I listened to the music there, like, and I'm like shocked. And he said, I use only an AI, and every week I put a track there. And it's something that make me like
Think about
shiver a bit, but not in a good way. I look at him and I told him, why you doing it? I told him, why you doing it? You know? And he told me, yeah, but it's working. You know, I make easy money in a way, but it's wrong. You know, in my opinion, it's wrong because the progress, everything. It's a scam, you know. Somehow it's a scam. You know,
this is what I say. It's good, but you can't find the band or singer.
Exactly,
because it's
music.
AI.
Look, I collect paintings. I love paintings. You know, art. I really love. Over the years I collect. I'm not gonna buy like a paint that it was made by AI, you know, and put it on the wall. It's like all the progress, the authentic, everything like that's been happening.
But if the AI
progress
is special,
it can't be very special because it's not like the hand of a painter that is like painting, you know. It's like this is his touch, you know. And
But I think
I'm afraid the world is going to
human being which will be changed. This is the vocal for my next track.
Yeah. I think AI right now is like a tool, and it helps a lot if you want to maybe, I don't know, you want to make a melody and you're in an E. You're okay, give me a mixolydian E melody with a bass, E and A and D. I don't know. Yeah, it helps like a tool, but yeah, I'm also afraid that the vocals and the melody. Yeah, imagine in 2 years from now, make
I see, look, I also own a label called Sacred Technology. And I also see like I working with artists like designers, graphic designers, and I also see like other labels that just use AI covers. And I'm really trying not to do it and keep working, only I fall to this sometimes with artists that make like AI designs, I fall to this, but I prefer to have someone that do everything from scratches, that do a original ID, This is my feeling. I want to keep it, like I said, authentic, This is what I'm missing a bit. And hopefully things will not go to this direction, That everything,
Who knows?
it's gonna be like the Terminator,
Yeah.
It was the same like with the Syndicate. The same that the machines took over, man. It's like,
Yeah.
exactly. With Sarah Connor.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. I started talking AI with Major 7 on 2023,
Yeah.
and
And still developing.
he's still developing. And he told me, yeah, he was worried about what's happening, and 2025. I think he's been improving for developing essays or texts. The music I still at this moment right now, no.
But it's gonna get there,
But it's-
because
yeah.
it's a progress, it's developing.
And maybe 2027, yeah, you can make. For sure, give me an effective style vocal for I wish. He's going to make it for sure.
Yeah.
Even today, you can, you have the AI, you put song, he put you all the channels out, you can cut the
Split everything.
That's clear as killer.
This is already you have,
Yeah, that is good. I use it.
What?
No, I think there is the Sono, it's called, the website. What is the name of the AI that split everything? Sono, that create a song. So I saw some video that they put like a song to Timbaland, the producer, the hip hop producer. And it's just that they let him listen. And after he listened, they tell him, it's from this AI website. And he was shocked there in the studio. He said, it sounds so good, Everything sounds so good,
Let's see what the future brings. This is also a new vocal for my new track. JT.
I'm going to be ready for your tracks.
This podcast make him very creative.
Yes. Also, this podcast is fake. It's all AI. I took a picture for you guys.
It's not me.
It's not the real world,
Well, and tell us the process. How was the process for the Bienvenido track that you made?
This is very nice.
Oh, it's amazing process. Yeah,
We start a track with Georgia Angulini.
she's a good friend of ours.
Good friend of us. And we start, and like when it was like 4 or 5 minutes, we send it to...
You send it to Dima.
I send it to Dima.
Dima is the manager, co-executive of Alteza Records, where she signed also.
And the track was not finished, was like maybe half track, And I just want to ask him if he think the track can fit to Alteza, because we are more Psy and we have a...
It was like an hybrid, like working with Georgia. It was like a good connection because she's amazing human.
Yes.
Aside of being amazing artist and performer, she's amazing human.
So-
For us to meet her, wow.
So we sent to the track just to see if he interesting.
You don't know. It's like we kill him with hyper, like I see him with the
I'm a hyperactive guy.
we both like very hyperactive. Continue.
Anyway, so we sent after like half hour, Matan from Vinny called me. Oh, what is this track? I like it. I love it. And I say let's do together all, And he sent me, you know what? Maybe yes, And like after 1 hour, he called me and said, I spoke with Aviram and let's do it, And
Yeah, it was nice.
when they finish it and they big massive work over there,
Yeah, they brought amazing.
And I think you can feel all the track, like you can feel everybody, in the track, like today you can feel us, you can feel Georgia, This is what's beautiful, and also the message from the track,
We are all one.
We're all
Exactly. Especially in these days,
Now ego.
Only ego can separate us, you know.
Yeah, so it's always.
And I think it's good also for the dance floor, because when you come to a party and you dance, there is no ego. You just praising. You dance like hell.
And you see, like, it was like if you listen to the track,
Yeah, sure.
so you can hear the vocal, and we didn't do stuff like this before, you know, like
Yeah.
when she sing and suddenly the kick and bass go inside, you know, every all the.
I think in this track, all the progress, like for us, was something new, you know.
And we
As in our head, we work in a way, you know, and there we had to go outside of
the pattern to see aggressive more into
the patterns that we work in music, you know. So it was it I think in a way it opens our mind also in our head to think differently, you know. So this is also something good when you collaborate with other people, because they open your head and your mind and, you know, everything for other things. So again, it's like
we make this track. I think we start last year. No, yeah, 2024. In
the middle. Oh. Yeah, it took time, but it's good that it took time, you know.
Yeah, good things take time.
Yeah, that's what we play it all, you know, and somebody's and all the time was fixing them maybe stuff, and until we say it's good, and we had a date like few months after. That's it. But really enjoyed, really like one of the tracks that I think we make that have a message, really, you know. Also, Go On My Mind have a message, but not the same.
I think Go On My Mind, it's one of our tracks that we don't always played it, but every party festival people came and said, play it, please play this track.
We even make this track, you know, and we put it in the side. We was playing the few parties, you know, back in the time.
But now we play it all the time.
Suddenly people come now in parties, say, please register this track from 2017. People, 18, sorry, 18?
Oh, no, 1990. I think it's crazy because, like, if you look at bands, like rock bands, like Pearl Jam and all these people, they play the same songs for 20 years, and it's the same magic. And when we play a set, sometimes we don't want to play something from 2 years ago. We want to play only new stuff. But the people, they expect something else. They want to hear that track and that track and that track.
I just told him, like last weekend, I was in Hamburg.
Yeah.
And I played 2.5 hours, one set, 1 hour Volcano and one. And when I start to play, I don't know, suddenly I want to play like my old stuff a little bit, you know? And it was bangers on the dance floor. And they say, why haven't played them still, you know? Where have you go to the new? Why you throw the old one, you know? Man, you know? So I said to myself, listen, before the next sets, even how for, like, I'm going to sit on the set and see where is the oldest of my tracks that I missed that I can play, you know? Because it's, when you do track 5-6 years ago in this kick banging, you know, you have the vibe of what you had when you make it 5 years ago, because you all the time change with energy and everything, you know? Or what you want to do now, you know?
His new sample change.
So, like I can play like track from 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and it give me, you know, the, like, I all the time saying music is time machine. I can listen to a rock song that I listen in age 10, and I have goosebumps, you know? It's because it's bringing you to these days when he was kid. It's like time machine music, you know?
Yeah.
My next name for my new album.
Man, in this package you try
I had to throw one joke.
you're going to make the clips? I want to make the clips and tag every clip for there when you launch the album. Yeah, no, and I fully understand, and I understand the ego of the producer, that you always want to share all the new material. But you have plenty of years now making music. You have a lot of music. It's a lot. So
Yeah, big.
yeah, a lot of people is expecting like that kind of tracks. In fact, tomorrow they're going to play. Yeah,
From 20 and more years, exactly.
For me, you ask me what you want if you go to part of Infected, what you want to listen.
I was actually
complementarians.
1 month ago there was like a concert. Yeah, but like 1 month ago there was like a concert in Tel Aviv of Infected Mushroom, like concert with like 3,000 people. I was there, exactly. This is what I'm saying. And for me, the first experience going to Infected Mushroom concert, you know, with like some really famous Israeli singers and some DJs that were there, like Blastoise, and the experience was incredible. Because they also took some old songs, like old tracks from them, and just make it like live sessions with guitar and drums and everything, you know. And it was amazing experience, you know. So I guess like when people gonna come to listen this weekend to Infected, they're gonna get like also all the hits from all the years. So yeah, this is what also people expecting from there, you know.
Yeah, and in vertical mode, I make a remix to Infected Mushroom. Remember,
Like a mega mix.
vertical mode and spaces with Space Cat was.
Yeah.
And like 6 tracks in one track, you know, 6
Like a mega mix.
Mega
they
mix.
made, yeah.
I see the Infected still playing it in their sets.
No, it was a good version, yeah.
Yeah, Abby still plays it sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, I saw Abby 1 year ago exactly. Yeah, he plays it. That is Space Cut.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's talking about music that you need to play all the tracks because they're very famous. Obviously, you're going to play like the new ones that are on the hype, but also people expecting some tracks.
Yeah, because this, I asked before I can make a post what you want, and I saw, and I was a little bit surprised that people tell me like
What is life? Yeah, it's
tracks from the Corona time that I made, they make my first album. Yeah, after the Corona. Only Human. So I see people want tracks from the album. Nice, why not?
Yeah, because
I go to bring a killer set.
yeah, I'm sure of that. Yeah, and also remember that on that time people could not go out, and our life was music. It was music and content. I watch more content and I listen to more artists and more music than ever on those 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I cannot do anything else. I cannot go out. I cannot go to play. I cannot do anything. So it was music, content, sleep. Music, content, sleep. I cannot do anything else. Go to the gym, eat a lot.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
crazy times, yeah.
And well, you were talking about your creative process. Also, what tools or tips or tricks or recommendations do you have for producers? That's something that you learned from together or from other artists that maybe
I think from every person in your way, on your pitch, you take something, you know?
Yeah, but also when you're sitting like 10 hours in the studio, you know, throwing plugins, you know, on the channels and playing something you will find, you know, like, this doing this, oh, nice. Like I a lot of stuff like did some mistakes and they say, what? This is good, you know, like with I wish, you know, and stuff like this. I got to results that I didn't know, that was surprising me, like it came from mistakes, you know. And for tips, if you're asking me about producing, like I told you before, first of all, come with idea for what you want to do. This is the best thing. And what more can I say?
I can add. I think first of all, you need to be yourself, you know? You need to, I think the best guy that said was Oli Wisdom, one of our good friends that passed away, Space Tribe, that was big inspiration. He was 61. And I think it's one of those guys that really inspired us because he had like the same excitement of a kid that just make new music. And his music was always with messages like be yourself, believe in yourself, you know, stuff like this. And I think if you go to the progress of creating music, when you're going to start and create music, everyone have his own tools. It can be serum, it can be silent, it can be a lot of things. Everyone takes something that works for him. But the best tip that I can give is like, first of all, to believe in yourself. The way is going to be hard. You're going to get lots of bad feedbacks. You're going to get lots of good feedbacks. You need to surround yourself with good friends that are going to give you real feedbacks, you know, that's going to tell you this is good, this is not good. And you just need to keep going, you know, keep going until you find the right formula. I'm not sure like formula is the right word to say, like the right thing that work for you as a producer, you know, and just do it. But if you're saying about inspirations, I think everyone we work with, we had like inspiration from, you know, I think every artist we took something, you know.
You also ask what we have, like what we work. So we have like virus, we work with.
It's Cubase also, first of all.
Cubase, virus, monitors, we have old monitors like 9 Audio. And a lot of plugins. If you ask me, the last 2 ones that I can recommend that I love, Spectre and Dyne 1. You know that one? It's like in making parallel compression. Each sound I can use it, you know. Each sound you feel the sound opening, you know. Each
like a
channel,
plug, yeah.
each channel you put. This
I
is
still, if you go to VS,
I can recommend you a lot of plugins, but this is the tool I start to work recently, you know, maybe 2 months.
there is a lot of good VSTs or plugs in
Yeah, but every artist has their ranks.
I like the fab filter, like
Still working with quadra fuzz, you know, like the old one. I can't leave it, you know. Which years ago I installed.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's because it's okay. The progressive or the creative process for everybody is different. So yeah, I think it's very good to have an idea because we have such a pressure right now to keep music on and on and on.
It's always like the
Yeah, and I felt like sometimes people just go into the studio because they have to.
I think because what happened, it's like these days, like the tracks that people release have like short life shelf, you know? It's like on the shelf, like short life. And then even with albums, if you're going to release an album and it's not going to be like an explosion that everyone going to say, wow, it's going to be like a single that is out, you know? And people are going to say, okay, forget about it like in a few months, you know? So these days there is a lot of stress to always release music to keep yourself on the mind of the people that follow music, that they're not gonna say, oh, Volcano didn't release music for 10 months or 1 year and then he come with a track, so it has to be a bomb, you know? It has to be a bomb, because if not, it's like he didn't release nothing. So this is how it become these days. But yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy times, and that's what I'm telling you, because a lot of people go into the studio just because they have to, and not because they want to. And due to the idea they have, well, you have like a very good chemistry, and you have like, hey, it's easy with two heads than one, and you can confront like, hey, don't worry, we can make a track tomorrow. Let's chill today or something. So. Yeah, and for example, on your position right now, you have a lot of career. Now you have tracks like number one Beatport. Do you feel some pressure, like to keep that?
After all, it's not the first time we have tracking.
It's not first time, but I can tell you one thing. Like a lot of people, they're like in a race, you know, in a race for number one, you know, like to be number one in Beatport, to have this amount of listeners in Spotify, to have this amount of followers in Instagram. Every person I'm talk with, like 90% tell me, you have to have this. But in a way, I think we don't feel this kind of stress. We just want to go with the progress and feel it. It's like very plastic to be number one, to make this, to make that.
Yes.
You know, it's like, this is what I feel. It's, of course, it's like a big compliment to be number one. It means a lot of people listen. They love the things that you do, you bring, you know. But I don't think it's a measure.
I don't know, not to be in a competition. Like if you did something from your art, and it's go far and became number one, okay.
Because I hear a lot. I have a lot of my friends that like really in a race into it. Friends and colleagues, you know, they're in the race. I need to have this amount of followers. I have to have this and this and that. And I even understand there is like promoters that book artists just like
if they have
a lot of listeners on Spotify, and
you like the music, you like.
Man, I don't know. I feel a bit sometimes like old in my mind, because music has to be like, you know, promoter need to book you because you love the music. You want to bring something to his parties. And these days, what people do, and I see it and I feel it also, that they bring an artist that's going to sell tickets for them, you know? They can tell you, I don't like the music.
No, you must, because...
Of course, but definitely...
like balance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but definitely, but I think like, I see promoters that sometimes like put a flyer with a date and they're sold out. They can bring whatever they want, you know? Yeah. But they go with the flow. And in a way, as everything need to be like more organic, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just to be organic, not be number one, have many followers on Instagram, this stuff. It's not really important. It's important how many people listen to your music and love you. You know?
Yeah, the community. Yeah, but I'm telling you this because right now it's so artificial. Like
exactly, you can buy also all this stuff. You know?
You can buy it because maybe you have a producer from start from scratch. And he has like money to do the promotion and get somebody together with mastering And or mix and mastering or stand mastering, he can help like to do a lot of promotion in TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. It's going to grow. Maybe he doesn't have the experience to play, but he has the numbers. But he's going to.
You can see it also a lot, to be honest.
Right,
You know.
you're right. Sadly.
Yeah, I think it's a progress. This is what happened today. It's not sadly. This is what is happening. But you don't feel relate. I'm also don't feeling relate. But I can see it and understand it.
You need to speak, you know. When you're a musician, you know.
Yeah, but I can tell you sometimes I listen to someone that like is not making like music that I feel connect or feel attached in a way. But he have many followers. When you go to a party, he sells a lot of tickets. So I can only respect it, you know, because he's doing something good. I can say, okay, this is something I will not do, because for me, first of all, music is like the first thing, the music, the idea, the sound, you know, and then after everything. But this is my way. It doesn't mean it works, you know. So I can always respect and appreciate what other people do, you know, and learn in a way, you know, in the way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a learning path. And that's the reason I make this type of content, like to all the artists and promoters and DJs listen to the older artists, how is their career, what are their thoughts, what are their tools, their creative process, and also the career that is not easy. It's a lot of ups and downs, and
Definitely.
it's not a race, it's a marathon. So we need to keep running and making music. And you have a lot of music launching soon.
I have new album just because the
We're going to be waiting for it.
The story of the beat controllers.
Yes, well, guys, I want to thank you both for sharing your story. It was an honor to have you here. I follow you.
For having us.
And yeah, thank you for sharing your story, your tips. I hope I see you soon. This is not the last time.
Thanks. We also want to say thanks to you, and also thanks to Mexico. Mexico is one of the places. Yeah, it's one of the
I started
places.
playing Mexico 2010.
I'm even before, and for me, Mexico, it's always a place I'm coming back and loving it. So
I love to see the streets.
Viva la Mexico.
Viva la-
Muchas gracias.
You're welcome here. I live on the north of Mexico, so you have a house in Monterrey.
Muchas gracias.
I was talking to Melissa that I want to go, and a lot of artists that I want to go to Israel to make.
You're always
Yes.
welcome.
I've been there in Arba Shabbat, Tel Aviv, Arad, Afula, and Jerusalem.
For me, I was in Mexico City a few times, Morelia.
I was even in Monterrey.
Really?
Many
Morelia, Guadalajara, two times. What is Michoacán?
Yeah, Michoacán is.
Michoacán.
I play.
Mexico is a place that always I feel welcome us, like in a very warm way, and people love you and support you, and it's amazing to see it. I always fun to get back here, you know.
I all the time very miss for the frijoles.
Another track name, frijoles.
Frijoles.
Who ate my frijoles?
Frijoles and the best guacamole.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was telling a lot of producers that come here to Mexico. We're Latin, we're hot blood, so we are
Very similar to us. We're also bloods in a way.
Yeah, no. When I went to Israel, everybody was so amazed and eat shawarma, falafel, hummus.
Yeah, good food. Also in Mexico, the food is good, you know. So it's
Yes. Tofu with frijoles.
Yeah, we can have a good dinner with I don't know whatever frijoles with chilaquiles, tacos. What's your where is your social media where people can follow you? Be sure.
Volcano.
Volcano on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere they want. They just do a search.
Imagine Mars.
Imagine Mars, Volcano on Mars. Yeah, you just go search, follow. You're welcome.
Or you find Volcano on
Mi
Mars.
casa, su
Find
casa,
Volcano
amigos.
on Mars.
Mi casa, su casa.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank
you.
Gracias.
Yeah, let me close the episode in Spanish. A todos los que vieron escuchando este podcast, sigan a Volcano on Mars en todas sus redes sociales. Aquí se les dejo. Denle like y compartan para que esto siga creciendo. Y nos vemos en el próximo capítulo. Hasta luego.